Why, hello there, pigeons and fools alike. Pigeon here from Pen and the Blade, and welcome to this episode of the Pirate's Mapbook.
Thanks, Pigeon. Alright, so in this episode, I am going to draw a new region of the Pirate's Mapbook, a new island completely from scratch using the online random region generator at penandblade.com/RRG. So let's get into it, and I'm going to go through instead of telling you about it after I build it, we're going to build it together right here so you can see the whole process. So we got in the RRG, you're going to press the RRG button, and then you get this script, and you see all these fill in the blanks, all these in parentheses are going to get filled in randomly, and then we are going to do our little thing. We're going to draw a little map. Let's do this. All right. So instead of a town, I'm going to make it a castle. That's the one thing I wanted to change because actually we're working on developing an interactive pirate map book, and I wanted to create a new region. Oh man, I have two regions that I started. Here's a sneak peek. One is they're a little bit different than usual, and this one spans across two things. I forgot about that. We're gonna create this region. So there's gonna be the Castle of Doomgold. Okay, can be found at Point Grove Caves, east. So that's gonna be on the right. You're gonna find the Tooth Crab Valley. On the south, you're gonna have the evil vile forest. That's a pretty evil forest, man. And there's an excessively short-tempered village. So the people in the village are very short-tempered, and it's run by a half-orc cleric. So it's probably like maybe a half-orc castle, and they're very short-tempered because they got to deal with all the creatures from evil vile forest. So what I do when I read this, I'm looking for connections between different things that like kind of stick out to me. So the idea of like where I was noting like, okay, Doomgold, we're gonna get back to that, but for now I've got like, why are they short-tempered? Oh, I would be short-tempered if I had to deal with an evil vile forest, you know what I mean? How do I make this go away? Oh, here. If I had to deal with an evil file, and then the tooth crabs, I'm sure tooth crabs are terrible too. So it looks like they're always like fighting for their lives and stuff, which is gonna put you in a bad mood. All right, and these Point Grove Caves, we're gonna have to get back to that. That's probably where they mine their gold. So there you go. What's the connection between the caves and the gold? Oh, easy one. And so now we got to figure out what doom has to do with all of it. Why are they doomed? I mean, maybe that just has to do with the surrounding regions being so evil and tough. So the largest problems are the adventurous or ogres in the Finger Leg Mountains to the north. So these mountains to the north, Finger Leg one, maybe they'll be tall and skinny mountains. All right, so these little skinny mountains in the north, these ogres live there, and it's interesting that they're adventurous because usually you don't think of ogres as an adventurous race, you know, like people. So they might be thinking like, oh, these orcs are bad guys. You know, they're the cannon fodder bad guys of the ogre world, like goblins are to other adventurers. Like, oh, you see a goblin, you can kill it. It's not a big deal. It's just a goblin. They're all evil. That's how they think of orcs. So these ogres are always coming in, trying to take their gold and their treasure and whatever. And they probably have a more sophisticated than usual ogre society, I would imagine. I feel like that would lead to like a more sophisticated economy than just like ogres who just eat people and live in caves. They are led by or working with, okay, so let's see so before I even read this person, how is that affecting the economy that I was just thinking of? Like I'm thinking of what are the repercussions of ogres having adventures, and they would have to build defenses because the orcs, they're probably, you know, they have a castle, they have a whole army, so the ogres will have to build defenses and stuff like that, which will make them have to have division of labor and just be more organized. So they're being organized by a tranquil, that's a good sign, you know, he's level-headed and stuff, half-orc paladin. What a twist. So now we've already established that the half orcs and are like considered lowly and stuff, but there's a half orc paladin. Now, maybe he's so Paladin makes me think that he's gonna be like, this is like a divine mission. He's like a prophet-like character to the ogres. So maybe he's the one who tells them that the half-orcs are scum and must be destroyed, because he is a half-orc and he knows how half-orcs think and act. And he says that they are plague upon the island of Doomgold. I don't know. I guess we don't. Oh, we'll have to randomly generate an island name at the end. All right. So let me take a screenshot, 'cause I don't want to lose this. I'm gonna have to work with this. Hold on. We're back. All right. Lastly, they have good relations with the excessively cynical Dragonborn in the Granite Forest Plains to the west, who are to the west of me. Okay, on this side, who are led by a maternal paternal bard. Okay, so so the Dragonborn, I feel like are going to be a smaller tribe or society. Anyways, let's get to drawing. So this is what I do. So I've already got a couple ideas, but we're also going to let the geography, and as we draw, it's going to help us inform it. So we're going to start a new page, and I think I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down. But I want to know what's in the, actually, no, you know what I'm going to do? Be a little more organized than that. I'm going to just decide that we got the Castle Doomgold. All right. Hey, this is always tricky. I gotta hold the camera and draw at the same time. Alright, so that's Castle Doomgold. I like to make them one word sometimes. I think that's cool. Alright, so that's gonna be in the center of our map, more or less. Then, to the east, wait, they're by the Point Grove Caves. So, there's gonna be mountains. Alright, to the east, we're gonna have, there's a valley to the east, and to the south, there's a forest. So I'm trying to figure out where the mountains of this cave should go. There's a valley, so that means there should be mountains on both sides. So maybe, so this way's east, so the valley's over here. All right, and this is the Tooth Crab Valley. Tooth, and Tooth Crab is also one word, because they're tooth crabs. So now I'm going to invent a little creature, and it's this giant crab, forest-dwelling crab. So in this valley, it's a forested valley. And in this valley, there are these certain crabs. Oops. See, I'm going to go over this with, what's it called? Marker after this. But we're going to do the world building here together, so you get to see my rough sketch phase. So we got the Tooth Crab Valley, and, you know, Castle Doomgold. There's probably the caves in here, and I don't know, they had a kind of boring name, so I probably won't put it on this map. Point Grove Caves, whatever, you know, the point is there's some caves. Alright, and that's where they mine their gold. Alright, but they gotta deal with these tooth crabs. I'm guessing there's probably still forest. There's probably forest all around here. The only reason they're in the middle of this crazy forest is because, and so, okay, now there's another little thing. Now that they're surrounded by forests and there's not as much farming land, they're probably hunters. So what do they hunt? They could hunt just conventional things like deer and all that stuff. So let's just leave it for that. They're forest hunters, but that means they have to go into the forest and deal with the tooth crabs. They probably eat a tooth crab, but their shells are so hard, and they have their claws, but their claws have teeth in them. Super dangerous, man. They're like crabs turned up to like 11. All right. Below, I think in the south. Wait. So we got the Finger Leg Mountains to the north. We can't forget that. And then the west, we have the Granite Forest Plains. Granite Forest Plains. How can you have forest plains? I don't know if that makes any sense. I might just we might change a couple things. You know. Oh, the south is the Evil Vile Forest. I knew there was a forest to the south. Sorry. Alright, cool. So this is Evil Vile Forest. Boom, done. Evil Vile Forest. And there's so many things we could do. That's a problem. That's why I like to use a random region generator. So maybe we'll generate what, you know, what creatures dwell in the Evil Vile Forest, and let that influence our world building design. And I like not to think too much about like the shape and stuff of mountains when I draw them, because I feel like that makes it more realistic, but I guess at the same time I do. Not individual mountains, but I'm thinking of like general, there's a flow to things, and there's like a folding effect as mountains. Maybe these mountains been pushing this way, so they're folding up like an accordion, like that, very, but loosely, you know, not the same everywhere. So they might come like this if I was going to continue the map. You see what I'm saying? Oops. I just tried to undo by clicking 2 fingers like on Procreate. Oh, man. Gotta undo the old way. Alright, so let's do the Finger Leg Mountains. That's going to be really important. You know? So we got all these Finger Leg Mountains in the north. And maybe you can try to figure out an idea of why, how these things form. But I don't think I have to necessarily. So let's write that those are the Finger Leg Mountains. Finger. I'm going to leave those 2 words, because I feel like some people are going to be annoyed that I'm making everything 1 word. So I'm just going to do that for them. Finger Leg Mountains to the north. Alright, hold on. I'm going to switch here. Now they're led by working with trainful half-orc. Okay, so the half-orc paladins up there. We got the excessively cynical. So there's some dragonborns to the east. So let's say the island's like this. And, you know, I feel like there would be a river coming down here. And I want at least one of the other city is going to be this dragonborn. The dragonborns that live there. Alright? They are going to be in the granite forest plains to the west. Actually, oh, okay. These are, so let's just make them the granite plains, because that, and then that informs me that these stone pillars, the ones that are tall pillars of granite, maybe there's some kind of, they're created in a volcano, and you know, because sometimes there's like a volcano, right? And the inside is a certain volcanic material, and the outside is a softer material. In time, the softer material, you know, disappears, and what's left is the harder inside material. And I don't know if granite is a, what is it, mesomorphic or something. There's one that there's like 3 kinds of rock, and one of them is the one that's created in a volcano, so then you could have those pillars. So that's what we're going to say, and maybe it's not granite, it just looks like granite or something, but they call it the granite plains because they're these gray stones that stick out of the plains. But aside from that, they're almost like monolithic Stonehenge, but giant, you know? That's kind of the look I'm thinking. Alright, so let's just kind of randomize the edges here. Cool, we got a nice little bay here. I'm guessing, I guess they don't have any connection. I don't know why I want a little more room. Well, no, not necessarily. Do either of these have connection? I guess the Dragonborn should live on the port, should have a port city. But the orcs, they don't, because they don't want to be, like, visited by anyone. What do they do with all their gold? You know what? I guess there has to be at least 1 more city. And, right? Because they've got to sell their gold. I mean, they've got to spend their gold. And they don't want to have to rely on the Dragonborn to do that. Now, the Dragonborn, what's their deal? Why are they on this island? You know, this is just like, we don't have to all be Dragonborn in this city. Maybe it's just led by a group of Dragonborn, and there's also gold, like, there's also gold in the Evil Vile Forest, or around here, maybe on this side of the river. But this is where the real gold veins are. You know, perhaps they trade with Castle Doomgold, so they have their own business over here. You know what? Maybe they don't. They just, yeah. Let's just keep it super simple, and we'll stick with the generator. We don't need another town there. But then the question becomes, why wouldn't someone build a town there at the mouth of a river near a place that has a lot of gold? They could trade. You don't have to cross the river right now. There's probably a bridge here. All right. And then, so you don't have to cross the river. You can just go straight down here, and you can send the groups down river. I think there would have to be a settlement there where they export, you know, where trade and stuff happens. And then I guess this city has just been here for longer. Maybe this is where they originally settled, and then they looked around and then they found some gold here and there. Maybe there's a couple mines over here, and those are independent. But then the half-orcs, they went into this forested area beyond the thing and really searched, and they found this, and they were stuck together. It was like a half-orc mining troop, you know, and then they that's it. They became like the biggest. They started mining the most gold, and then the ogre started bugging them because they had like gold and magic items, and there were all these cool fancy stuff. So the ogre started thinking like, hey, let's grab some of that cool stuff. What's that all about? That looks interesting. And so they still making good money, and I'm thinking there's gonna definitely be a village down here as well, for them to trade out some gold. So there's a lot of good gold here. Let's use the random region generator to find out what kind of creatures might come up into. So I just cleared it. Might show up in let's choose two creatures, and then oops, okay, hold on, let's clear it. It works on mobile and stuff. Some people are having a little trouble, but we're gonna try to fix that up. But try it out. So let's do quality. I forget the difference between quality and personality, honestly. Monster. We'll do return, and then oops, and you could type here if you want, and then let's do personality and monster. So we're gonna have these two types of monsters. Generate. So we've got deceptive zombies. Oops, I hope I took a screenshot of that. Deceptive zombies and a snobby lich. Oh, so okay, that makes sense. So this lich, so there's a lich somewhere in the evil vile forest. Look, that makes perfect sense. It's so much better than if I came up with it. And maybe at some point we'll put like a little lich tower somewhere in here. But it should be closer, I feel like. Or maybe no, it's deep in the forest. Right in the center, because he wants to control the whole forest. So let's put it right in the center. And because he's evil, he's snobby, so he'd be like, I rule over the forest. And maybe you can even see it because it's so tall. So he's like, come and get me. But he's got all these deceptive zombies. They look like trees, they look like rocks, but they're like super well camouflaged, you know, like he like grafts on like tree branches to their arms and stuff like that. And they're kind of like ninja zombies. So that's why it's so evil and vile, you know. I want to be running around in there. And was there anything else we need to generate? I don't think so. Well, I guess the name of this town. Let's try it. You know what? No, let's for the sake of like mixing things up, because I've realized like they're all like words like this. It's kind of cool. I guess that's the flavor of the world. But sometimes I feel like there would be different things. So this would be like Gornox, which is some orcish word, you know, which probably means like trading settlement. And we get the Finger Lake Mountains. Yeah, I think we're good. Oh yeah, what's the name of this whole island? Let's go ahead and do that. So we cleared up the thing over here. Let's go terrain island, I think. Terrain. See, that's the thing. It bounces down like that. Generate. All right. Oops, I didn't click it. Generate. All right. Doombrush Island. Doombrush Island. Is that interesting enough? I feel like it's gonna be Doomgold Island because that's the primary feature. Even if it was called Doombrush Island back in the day, I guess that could be part of the, because there's in stream, there's a lot of brush, and in the brush, there are deceptive zombies. So maybe we'll call it Doombrush Island. And that, my friends, is how you build a world. Isn't that right, Pigeon? Alright, do the sign off, Pigeon. Alright, Pigeon. Well, I guess I'll do it then. Until next time, everyone. Peace, God bless, and stay fantastic.